All right, what's going on? Welcome to part 2 of my Braum Seats install. So today we are going to be attempting to install the passenger seat. As I said, I didn't want to try to attempt it until I knew I can get the SRS Light not to pop on because of the vehicle occupancy sensor. So I'm going to attempt that today. This seat may be installed by the end of the video, it may not, but the goal of today's video is to figure out what I need to do to make sure that the occupancy sensor is all done and said and taken care of, and nothing pops up on the dash. So let's go ahead and get the other seat out, get this one situated. If you guys are trying to figure out how to get the other seat out, watch my part 1 video where I installed the driver's seat. You need a T50 Torque Bit and a T30 to get the rail sensor off. All right, let's get started. All right, so I have the seat out. It definitely looks a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. It seems like the weight sensors or the occupancy sensors are built into the rails, or at least sandwiched between the rails and the seat. I thought it was like Subarus where there's just like a sensor padding built inside the seat itself, but it looks like it's not. There's an airbag right here, and then obviously there's an airbag for the side curtain airbag. So there are 2 airbags in this seat right here. So I'm definitely going to have to either transfer this airbag over somehow, or I'm going to need 2 of the resistors. So I got to order another set because the set you order from Amazon only comes with 2. So I'm going to try to take this apart. I'm going to maybe try to take these rails off and transfer it over to the new seat. If not, I need to figure out a way to mount these sensors, there's 2 of them, onto the other rail. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so it looks like they are held in by a bunch of 12mm nuts. I've already broken this one loose. These are, looks like these are going to be a pain to remove. This front one and this back one are probably pretty easy, but the ones deeper inside with this bracket in the way is probably going to be a little bit tricky. So if you have a short stubby, that would probably be your best bet to getting these off. Okay, so it looks like the outer ones were 12mm, but the inside one is a 14mm. So definitely plan accordingly while I try to break this loose somehow without completely destroying my knuckles. Let me see if I have a short 14mm wrench. Okay, so attempt number 1 is going to be to try to use the factory rails. I had these universal brackets lying around, so I just attached them to each side of the rail. I'm going to try to attach the seat to that, so that way I can still use the occupancy sensor. The only reason I didn't transfer them over to the aftermarket one is because they have this weird stud that just sticks up right there, and if I transferred it over, I wouldn't have been able to put the seat on because I don't have a spacer tall enough to accommodate a stud this tall. But this is attempt number 1. If this doesn't work out the way I think it's going to do, or is going to work out, I will go out and find a spacer that will raise the seat enough to where I can still bolt it down, but it also clears this stud. So, yep, let's put the seat on and see how this works. All right, so I was able to mount the chair to the factory rail. I have the seat belt mounted in on the side. I have that plugged in. So now all we gotta do is put the seat in, plug the occupancy sensor in. As I said, I only have one of the jumpers because the case only came with 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the under the seat airbag because I know it works for the side curtain airbags. Once again, I took off this this random plastic clip just in case it needed to be plugged in for whatever reason, but there's nothing in here, but I think it's for the heated seats, but I plugged it in just in case. This is where the occupancy sensor is going to be plugged in. As I said, I have the jumper into the under the seat airbag. For whatever reason, they have one on this side. So I'm going to plug this in to act as the side curtain just to see if the jumper works for the under the seat one. So let's go ahead, get everything plugged in and see if this works. If this works, awesome. We figured out a way around the occupancy sensor. All right, so this is what I was talking about, kind of just jerry-rigging it for right now. I took the side curtain airbag, plugged it in. I have the jumper on the under the seat one. So let's go ahead, turn the key forward, and see if the SRS light pops on. Okay, so forgive the low lighting. Let's go ahead, push the key to accessory mode. Then to the on position. Oh, there it goes. No occupancy light. So let me go ahead and click in my seatbelt to see if this seatbelt light goes away. If it does, ooh, so that did not go away. Let me go ahead and start the car. Okay, so there is no SRS light, but I'm guessing because it's sandwiched between the plate, it thinks there is a passenger in there. So let me go ahead and buckle that in. So yes, unfortunately, it does think that the passenger seat is there, or the passenger is in the seat. I guess it's not accommodation. It's not accommodated for the weight of the seat itself with the extra brackets. I don't know if that kind of pushes it over the edge, or maybe the bracket is pushed down too hard on the sensor, so it thinks that there's somebody there. But either way, there is no SRS light. The only downside is that I'm probably always going to have to drive with that seatbelt like that, which isn't too big of a deal. It's better than having a gigantic SRS warning light on there. So yeah, there you guys have it. Maybe I'll take it apart again and try to like loosen the bolts. Maybe that'll take some tension off of the weight sensor. Maybe it doesn't need to be torqued down as hard as I torqued them down. We'll see. But either way, no SRS light. That was the main goal of today's video, and we were able to accomplish that. So yeah, guys, awesome. I have both Braum seats in. Another downside about using the factory rails is that it does sit pretty far up against the B-pillar. So just take that as a note. I'm going to have to scoot the seat forward just a little bit, but overall, not too bad. So yeah, now I know that the resistor also works for the under the seat airbag, so I'm gonna have to order another set of those. Once again, links will be all down below in the description box on where to get your torque splits, where to get your resistors, even the seats if you want the seats. But yeah, guys, until next time, later.